that's going to be created. So, as said earlier, we first dealt about professional development, the definition of the professional development, and I think that there will be a need for us to proceed from professional development to reflective practice. And then the reflective practice, as I earlier said, we are not going to waste my time about that. But then what we're going to focus about is how a student or how a teacher you're going to reflect on what you are about to or what you've done. Sometimes you will invite a peer to probably assess you after the teaching process. If not that, you help others to video you. If not that, there are a lot of ways that you can also use to probably reflect on the lesson that is being taught. Yes, so it is said to be as an examination, a cross examination to yourself. So you are going to assess yourself based on the score that has been given. You watch the video yourself and see how best you go out with it. So reflective process or reflective practice is a process that facilitates what? Learning. And that facilitates teaching. It is a process that facilitates teaching, learning and understanding. And it plays a central role in a teacher's professional development. So with the professional development setting to be the centermost of all these things, we can get a subset of what professional development, that is what reflective practice. Please are you with me? So we first talked about the professional development as a whole content. And we get to understand that talking about professional development, that is where we are talking about the knowledge, the skill the student teacher had or a teacher has to perhaps try to make the teaching, improve the teaching quality and effectiveness. Having said that, it is also going to help to meet the needs of the learners, how he's going to gather the skills, the knowledge to meet the needs of the learners. And we talk about it important, professional development important. One thing is that it grants the student or the teachers what the knowledge and industrial insight. Second one, it also improve better planning and organization. Third one, we also talked about teachers wants to what probably lavish on to educate themselves, to improve or to gain knowledge or want to continue education. The last one talking about better learning outcome for students. And we zoom our attention to professional practice. Professional practice, we are talking about the process of facilitating teaching, learning and understanding that form a central role or the pivot role in teachers' professional development. Please, are you with me? I think that's what it actually incinerates. So that is what we are going to talk about. So professional or reflective practice, as I said, is a process. The process of teaching, learning, and understanding. Which is the central or pivotal role in teachers' professional development. So I think that is all. It was also throwing more light on that. It says that when teachers carry out systematic inquiry into themselves, they understand themselves, their practices, and their students by constantly looking into their own actions and experience. they professionally grown in their own. So I think all these things that we're talking about is that it's a process that facilitates, or what you're talking about is something that is really important that we have to talk about. So one thing is that it helps you to understand yourself, the practice, and the students. I think you're having different definition also here. Reflective practice is an important tool in practice-based professional learning setting where teachers learn from their own professional experience rather than formal learning or knowledge transfer. It is the most important source of professional development or personal professional development and improvement. It is important we to bring together theories and practice. Through reflection, a person is able to see and label forms of thoughts and theory within the context of his or her work. A person who reflects throughout his or her practice is not just looking back on past action and events, but is taking a conscious look at emotions, experience, actions, and responses, and using that information to add to his or her existing knowledge base and reach a higher level of understanding. So the reflective practice is all focusing about the process that you're going to perhaps reflect on what went on to work out things that will perhaps help you to gain much knowledge about what you're doing from the experienced people. So that is all what it is. It is meant for. That's all what it is meant. I think that is quite good. So focusing about the professional learning, we had a lot of contention, and we can also spot out certain kind of things that will probably come across so far as it is concerned. So the first one is that teachers are involved. That is what you have to note. Teachers engage in to stimulate their thinking and professional knowledge. So definition of professional learning, it is what teachers engage themselves in. What teachers engage themselves in to stimulate their thinking. And professional knowledge. Now, to ensure, so they engage in that. They engage themselves in to stimulate their thinking and professionally to ensure that their practice is critically informed and up to date. I think that is what it probably means, and I think that's all. We believe that by undertaking a wide range of high quality, sustained professional learning experience, teachers are more likely to inspire pupils and provide high quality teaching and learning experience, enabling learners to achieve their best It is important that professional learning provides rich opportunity for teachers to develop and enhance their professional knowledge and practice in order to progress the quality of learning and teaching and school improvement. So, professional learning is one thing that enhances the professional knowledge and practice. I think with the definition that has been said, teachers engage in to stimulate their thinking and professional development to ensure that their practice is critically looked and up to date. What it is focusing about is that it is enhancing their professional knowledge and practice. So professional learning enhances professional knowledge and professional learning enhances professional knowledge and practice. That is what you have to know. Professional learning enhances professional knowledge and practice. So I think that's the pivot of everything. So you are learning to enhance your professional knowledge and practice on that activities associated with professional learning. Activities associated with professional learning. From the information above, it is clear that professional learning can take many forms. Here are some examples of professional learning opportunities: self evaluation and critical reflective practice, experiential action or inquiry based learning, a professional dialogue with colleagues, other professions, parents, and learners, focused professional reading and research, leading or engaging in practitioner inquiry or action research, critical analysis of reading, learning, and impact on professional practice, learning about aspect of curriculum or pedagogical practice, peer support, coaching or mentoring, classroom versus peer observation, online learning. So I think one thing that I'm going to talk about is that the reflective process has still repeated itself here, or self-evaluation. Self-evaluation. So like before you can evaluate yourself, you should be serving as a guide. So perhaps you can inform some peer to probably make a video of you, or try to give them some books, some research questions that is confidential that they can go through and do it for you. So these are all the self-evaluation process that can help you to appraisality. That's it. The appraisality. Yes. So it'll help you to get a feedback from the learners or whosoever you call. And then also I'll also focus about professional dialogue with colleagues, other profession, parents, and learners. So at the end of a course or a discipline, you can have a dialogue with some of the colleagues, some of your other professionals, for them to know how best you can probably teach, which will be of a critical informed and not up to the system, which is going to help the learners to understand what it really means or what it really goes. And I think we can also focus about learning about aspect of the curriculum, learning about aspect of the curriculum that is also important, and critical analysis of reading. Yes, and you can also learn online to improve or upgrade yourself to up-to-date system. For the professional learning, focusing about the critical informed, regardless about the knowledge, the thinking stimulating the thinking and the professional learning to ensure that you can also try to read books, learn, and impact on the professional practice, as said earlier. The next one we're going to talk about is the leadership role of the teacher. The leadership role of a teacher. I think this is not going to be time wasting. Leadership role of a teacher. You should know that as a teacher, you're a leader to lead. That is it. Because if you're teaching a discipline, you should control the class there. So teachers are leaders all day. Yes. And they serve as an example, the way they eat, the ways they act, speak, and behave. So these are all things that we have to note so far as leadership role of the teacher is concerned. And then also in school, there were always selfless teacher who support students at all costs. Sometimes I earlier said that we are not focusing about ourselves, but then having the knowledge, having understanding will help you to focus about the learner, because perhaps you are going to as part of the professional development, the importance of professional development. We stated earlier that teachers want to continue their education. Now this focus about how the teacher is going to instill leadership roles in learners, like trying to let them know that they can also advance themselves to become who they are. So you should not going to focus on self alone, but then you're going to focus much on the learners. That is it. And then also learners are going to be they are going to have some trust in you. Please, are you with me? So therefore they can probably consult you when they are finding a challenge, for them to also to be resolved, for them to have a stable mind as far as the education life is concerned. And one thing, we are talking about the leadership role of a teacher. First one was that teacher are leaders all day. Second one, in school there are always selfless teachers who support students at all costs, regardless about whatever can happen. They have to get someone to support that person. The next one you're talking about is that teacher leader assume a wide range of role to support school and students' success. So it is quite important that the reason why the learner came there is for academic excellence, and then also other things that he needs. You are not focusing only about academics, but you're focusing about his educational needs, or things that is going to help him or her to probably achieve something at the end. So whether these roles are assigned formally or set informally, it needs to build the entire school capacity to improve. So some are formal thoughts, some are informal, of which it is going to build the capacity, the school capacity to improve, because teachers can lead in a variety of ways. Many teachers can serve as a leader among their peers, because you've had a wide range of people of which you supported different peoples, and then also you focus about the success of others. So we will take that privilege as you being more sympathetic and empathetic to also give a role to play for us that then is concerned. So these are the leadership roles of a teacher, or the leadership roles of a teacher so far as professional development is concerned. So what are some of the leadership options available to teachers? These are a sample. I think we will just name some few and proceed with it. Resources provided. Teachers help their colleagues by sharing instructional resources. So sometimes you get some informations that facilitate education, that facilitate learning, and it will focus on about materials, it will focus on about reading and other resources to use with students. So as a teacher, you have to share. The love is to share. So you share resources providers. They share these things to help in the teaching process of a learner, for them to be well, for the discipline to be well taught and understood by learners. Learning facilitators. Facilitating professional learning Opportunities among staff members is another role for teacher leaders. So that is also one thing that we can talk about. When teachers learn with and from one another, they can focus on what most directly improves student learners. So learning facilitators is that not what you have alone, but then you have to also be a model, or someone have to be your model and learn from that person to have a greater understanding, greater insight about what you are talking about. The next one we can talk about is serving as a mentor. Serving as a mentor is a common role of a teacher leader. Yes, a mentor serves as a role model. That is it. Assimilate new teachers to a new school and advise new teacher about instruction and curriculum, the steps. So all these things you're talking about is a great deal of time and expertise and make a significant contribution to the development of new profession. So one thing you have to know is that you serve as a role model, as a mentor, to advance yourself. So that is also what advance himself because of you. And then school leader. Being a school leader means serving as a committee, such as a school improvement team, either the spouse, acting as a grade level or department chair. So all these things are part of the leadership role for us, a teacher in the educative sector is concerned. And all these things are things that I work on for us. Now moving on to the leadership style of a teacher. I think this one we've talked about that is autocratic leadership style. That is, the decisions are made only by one person. Democratic, through a discourse, through a decision. So like it is not one person who is making that decision. A laissez-faire. He will give you the privilege. He will give you the privilege to exercise whatever thing that you want, but then it is limited. Laissez-faire leadership skills. You give it a chance, but the chance that has been given has a boundaries. That is it. And when you talk about authoritative imply the same as autocratic. Authoritative. So what you have to comply with what he has said. That is authoritative. So these are the four leadership styles: autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire. 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 So they'll give you the privilege, but you'll be doing it, but then it is limited. You have to take notes of these. These are things that we know already, so it's not going to be a big problem. Community of practice. Community of practice explain. So perhaps we will be posted to different places for us to go and teach. Community of practice are collective or people with shared interest in achieving the same goal. I think community of interest, community practice are collective of people with shared interest in achieving the same goal. I think this one, with the question that I was reading, some was in. We're talking about community interest. We're talking about a collective people with shared interest in achieving the same goal. Community practice, a collective of people with shared interest to achieve a same goal. Community practice. I think it will be quite important for me to write it. Community practice, a collective of people with shared interest in achieving the same goal. Collective of people with shared interest in achieving the same goal. Community practice. is a collective people with shared interest in achieving a common goal or a same goal. So community of interest or community practice now. We are talking about a collective people. A collective people with shared what? Interest in achieving a same goal. So it is referred to collective people. Collective of people with shared interests in achieving a same goal. So that is the community practice. Community practice is a collective of people with a shared goal. With a shared goal in achieving a common, with a shared interest in achieving a common goal. I think it's quite good for you to perhaps have certain things like with community practice. We are talking about collective of people with shared interest in achieving a collective what? In achieving a same goal. It is, I think you'll be proceeding, but then let's take note of that. It's added that within education, the teaching bodies of schools are communities of practice in that all teachers work towards achieving a vision for their students. All of us are part of such community, but often do not become consciously aware of our engagement with others. Thank you. The second one is talking about communities of practice are a group of people who share a concern or a passion for something they do and learn how to do it better as they interact regularly. Right? The first definition is quite simple. Talking about community of practice, we are talking about collective of people with shared interests in achieving a same goal or to achieve a same goal. I think the first one definition is quite important and it's quite simple. Forms of what community practice, because it's a collective of people with shared interest in achieving the same goal. So we're having some forms, we're having some categories that you have to talk about. The first one will be the forms is helping community, knowledge stewarding community, innovation community. I'm repeating again, helping community, knowledge stewarding community, innovation community, helping community, knowledge stewarding community, and as I was saying, helping community is one, knowledge stewarding community is one, innovation community, and then helping community implies that providing a forum for community members to help each other with everyday work needs. Because talking about community practice, we're talking about a collective of people with shared interests in achieving what? A same goal. So therefore there will be a need for others to help others to achieve something, because we all came together with a shared goal. And then when we're talking about the knowledge stewarding community, it also implies that organize and manage and steward a body of knowledge from which community members can draw. So in a sense that we've all come as a team with a shared code. How are we going to strategize things for it to best fit us? So we must first organize, we must manage, and someone must be a steward. Yes, to look at how the things is going to be done, who is going to help us. And the last one talks about innovation community. It implies that creates a breakthrough ideas, new ideas or new knowledge, a new practice. Innovation. Like we're not going to the traditional one. We're going to focus about, as we talk about the professional learning, up to date one. We talk about the modern ones, the new idea, the new practices that is going to help us to achieve our goal as been set. I think that is what the functions of community of practice. 1, to educate. 2, to support. 3, to cultivate. 4, to encourage. 5, to integrate. We all came as a team to achieve a goal. 1, to educate ourselves. 2, to support ourselves, as been said, because helping community is form part of the community of practice. And then also to cultivate by assisting group to start and sustain their learning. To encourage. Encouraging implies that promoting the work of members through discussion and sharing. And then to integrate by encouraging members to use their own knowledge for real change. I think that is it for now. So we are at importance of community of practice, and I believe that we will be proceeding next time. And I pray that whatever thing that we learned, God to bless. Thank you.